Without mincing words, our guest on the show is an inspiration. Her role and achievements in public service certainly sets her apart from the rest. Reaching the pinnacle of her career hasn't been a bed of roses, but she successfully surmounted the challenges. Our focus on this edition of the Gallery, A Woman's Perspective, is Women in Public Service. I am Shijo Alabi. Welcome to the program. Her career spanned decades in the public service. A chemist who turned public administrator, made significant achievements which brought remarkable progress to the state public service. A woman of integrity, panache, and eloquence. A warm welcome for the Secretary to the Lagos State Government, Mrs. Folashade Jajeh.
Thank you very much.
It's really great to have you join us on the Gallery, A Woman's Perspective. Now, SSG, to say that you're an inspiration is an understatement. But how would you capture the role of women in public service?
Well, I can say that, growing up in the service before I came to the other side, which the SSG is a political position, that's how I see it. Women have always been there, just as the men. Unfortunately, I didn't see that divide as, distinct. I didn't see myself, even though I'm a woman, as different from a man, but I appreciate, my role, as a woman and the role as a, but when it comes to working, we were dealing with each other on the basis of merit, on what you have to offer, on your competence, whether you're a man or you're a woman. It wasn't, we didn't have that kind of divide, at least I didn't. I saw everyone as, okay, you're a colleague. Oh, yes, okay, you can be a man. It didn't really matter, because it just, maybe it's part of the upbringing that I had in secondary school. I went to Queen's College, Yaba, and in Queen's College, we have different tribes, in terms of, we have some from the north, from the east, from Yoruba. Yoruba, we never saw each other as different. It was in growing up in, later in years that we saw, okay, this one is Hausa. We knew that, but we didn't think it mattered. It didn't matter. We just saw each other as, children, as colleagues, and we were all just doing things together without, putting any demarcation, divide between us. So in the public service, I think women that are competent, that, are worth their salt. There are no encumbrances. The sky is the limit for you. Yes, and and that was how I think most of us progressed in the Lagos State, civil service. Yes.
So that obviously prepped you for future challenges. And opportunities. That's great to hear. But then, how would you give a comparative analysis, because your experience has spanned decades, in so many years ago to now, when you look at how women have grown in the public service?
Thank you very much. I think it's a bit of here and there. Okay,
great.
I can remember when I joined
the
public service. Yes, when I joined the public service as an administrative officer then, and it was like the administrative officers were the line managers, in the public service, and in that capacity, there were expectations of us, how you're going to carry yourself, how you relate with other people. Those things those values were well spelt out for us, which we had to imbibe, And, you know, our superior officers inculcated those values in us, which we imbibed, and it became, you know, part and parcel of us. You know, but gradually, when the millennium, when he got to the millennium, you know, things were changing because of technology and all of that. Even up till now, it has affected, you know, the way women dress, you know, the way that we dressed then, that we said it has to be corporate. What they wear, they see it as this is corporate, that, okay, I see, oh, I see, you know. But I think in terms of really delivering and all of that, I think, you know, it's been good. Women have proved, you know, their mettle, and awesome. They have been given that opportunity. I can say that for Lagos State.
Yes. Great encouragement.
Thank you very much.
That sounds good. Yes, thank you very much, ma'am. But then, I mean, let's bring it down to you a little. Tell us what it's been like to be a female SSG.
You see, being a female SSG.
Yes.
You know, maybe because I have worked with other female SSGs, you know, before the position of the SSG and the head of service.
Yes.
At a point in time, at different times, it was the same. Only one person, you know, played that role. Yes, but later it was divided. It was separated into head of service and SSG. And I think that was during Dr. Lewis's time, when he was head of service, and we had SSGs. So I've worked with female SSGs, Mrs. Da Silva, for instance, and I think Mrs. Tyree as well, that was a senior. Yes, and I think she occupied both positions. She was both SSG and head of service. But, you know, at different times, you know, different administrations, they have, you know, different ways of doing, you know, these things. Maybe because I have seen it happen, so it wasn't so strange to me. But what I have experienced here maybe is more of my age, you know, compared to, you know, my colleagues in the executive council. I beg your pardon. You know, so but you know, I get a lot of pampering, I mean, so to speak. Yes. So I don't know, I don't think it's because I'm a woman. We have other women there, and well, we all work together, and we have men. Even my ogas at times will pamper me. I had to complain, Mr. Governor, sir, Mr. Deputy. You know, they are on
Give
the
me
lookout.
The challenge, and
exactly, I'll take it on.
Yes.
You know, so they treat me like, I think it's really been enjoyable. And you know, of course, you know, when you're motivated like that, the tendency is that you want to do more.
Absolutely.
And you know, it has really been encouraging, and it's been, you know, worth the
while.
Worthwhile.
Yes. Now, that is an experience, but I want you to actually specify an experience that stands out for you while you were climbing the ladder, you know, be it positive or negative, so that, you know, our women can know that we are allowed to make mistakes, we'll learn from our mistakes, and having negative experiences doesn't necessarily condemn you, you know. So something to encourage our women. Was there anything, any experience that stands out?
Yes, I think an experience, you know, that I can say slightly jolted me, you know, was when I was the secretary to the State Tenders Board. And there was a military governor at that time. I don't want to be specific.
There's
if you don't.
We know.
And we had a secretary to the state government.
Yes.
You know, he's late now. And the military governor at that time, the military administrator, sent the ADC to me as the secretary to the state, as the secretary of the State Tenders Board, to come and collect, you know, the documents relating to the contract awards in the. And the ADC came, he introduced himself as the ADC. I said, okay, I have heard. I will pass it, you know. I will make sure Mr. Governor,
yes,
the military governor
gets it.
and all that. I think he was taken aback. He wanted to take it himself. I said, no, I'm sorry, I can't give you, because we have channels of communications. And I said, okay, so immediately he left. He insisted. I said I wasn't going to give it to him. I think he went and he reported to the governor, to the military governor, that I didn't give to him. And of course, the military governor was furious. Later I learned. And then the SSG so I now packaged it and I went to give it to the SSG that the governor would like to have this and all that. So, but meanwhile, I think he had called him, said he was furious that who was the most, but because of, the way we were brought up in the service, I couldn't just hand it over to him, and I did what I believe that. And luckily, I had a superior officer, the SSG, then that believed in what I did, and he said, okay, let's go to let's go to the military governor. And we went there, and he said, of course, he was raving and all of that. And I said, I'm sorry, but that's the way we have been taught in the service. We have channels of communication. I can't go over my superior officers to deliver something, to give something. So if I was given to you directly, that was different. I was going to send it through the ADC. I said, no, I will make sure that he gets it through the appropriate channel. So that jolted me. I went there, he said, and I said, why would I want to insult my governor? Why would I want to look down? And I know, but this is why I did this.
How did you rise above that? How was it rested?
Luckily, as I said, because I had a superior officer that believed in that.
So you had support?
Yes, I had support, of course. That's very important, I must say. Because of that support, because it could have turned anyway, we can say, yes, remove her or do something to her. But, it turned out fine, and I apologized. I said, no, why would I want to, be difficult, exactly, in doing my job.
You the documents.
You needed it, and I made sure that, yes, I got it to the person that would deliver it to you immediately.
Excellent. So you survived like many of us
I did. I thank God.
Awesome. Now, when we talk about women in public service, it will be appropriate, and I think I'm not mincing words here. There are myriad misconceptions about career women. Now,
I know.
how can these misconceptions be addressed, particularly for those that have risen, in their career?
Thank you. I know there are, people stereotype very easily.
Precisely.
Because maybe they have had the experience, maybe they have seen one person, that has done that, and that person happens to be a woman. Then I say, okay, that's how women.
It's general.
Say that's how women are, and all of that. And one thing that is very prominent is the fact that people believe that women get to their positions, to get to that position by using their body, that they have to use their body, or they have to, compromise, in
step on toes,
and it doesn't have to be like that. I believe, based on my experience, and I think I can only, and those of my colleagues that, that we grew up together, and I can say that it was all on the basis of merit, because right from the time we joined the service, if you were an A candidate, you will get your promotion maybe 6 months, and if you're a B, you get it in 1 year, and if you're a C, maybe 1.5 or 2 years. Those things were laid out, and everybody knew, and we were, and that was how, we were all moving. So to say that in Lagos State, I can say that women that are in those positions have earned those positions.
So the conversation continues shortly. Stay with us. Women in public service is our topic on this edition, and we have with us a resplendent and astute administrator in the person of Mrs. Folashade Jaji, the Secretary to the State Government. Merit does go a long way, and a lot of people, women particularly, have survived. They've been in their positions, they've earned their mettle, you know, via merit alone. And it's such a great thing that employers of labor are already identifying merit and excellence in women particularly. This is a women's show, so I'm going to be very partial, you know, in earning whatever they've given them. And I know women, they say give a woman, you know, something and you know that you can go to sleep, because I mean we put our all in whatever you know, opportunity, challenge, whatever it is that we've been given, you know, to do. Great. This one I'm going to read out because I must get it right. You know, while you were head of service, you left some legacies. I'm going to read them out. Professionalization of human resource management. Revision and adoption of the 2015 public service rules. You facilitated approval of 11 billion pension liabilities and arrears. With all of this, it is evident that you are interested in human capital development. Why?
Thank you very much. You know, as an individual, you know, I love people. I believe in people, and I want to help people. And you know, when I became the head of service, I had just 8 months left in the service. Oh yes.
All of this was done in 8 months?
Yes,
amazing.
It was. Let me tell you, I believe that I had to work, you know, myself out, so that anybody that has that opportunity, it won't be used that, okay, you have only short term left, because all my my colleagues that had more years, you know, in the service, they were the ones busy, you know, looking for, I didn't even know that I was going to get to that position. I had no idea. I thought, okay, I was going to be denied of that opportunity, so it wasn't something that I looked forward to. But when I got it, I thought that no, it's important that the legacy I'm going to make sure that anybody that has that short time is not going to be denied that opportunity based on the performance that that person brought. So, and I want to believe that that was what motivated me, you know, to do all of those things were left hanging. I said, why should, okay, we have to do this one. And luckily, you know, saw reason, the people I was working with, I had their cooperation, because it wasn't just about me, you know, it was a teamwork. And luckily, you know, the public service rules, when we have promotions, we found out that if there are litigations and they go to the court, they said that the civil service rules was only for the people in the mainstream civil service, that it wasn't applicable to those in the public, you know, those were in the parastatals and what have you. And we thought, no, we should have a public service rules. Federal had done it, and it was only federal. And we thought, no, we need to domesticate it. We need to get it done here. So I was PAMSEC, and I was a chairman of the committee that looked at it and, you know, was coming up,
ratified,
exactly, looked at everywhere where we needed to amend and all that. We spent sleepless nights not knowing that I was going to be now the head of service. You know how it was like, it was good.
You were just doing your job.
Doing my job, exactly.
And it paid off.
It paid. That's it. And that's what I always encourage people to do. You just put in your best and leave the rest. You don't need to have a godfather, a godmother, or someone that you know, but if you have God, you have the fear of God in you, and you do your work to the best of your ability.
And that
Live
was
it.
What happened.
And God has a way of, you know, and you know, and part of what I also tell people is that it's not about what you're looking for as reward. I mean, not necessarily be what God wants to reward you with. You know, some people are lucky, okay, you get to that position. Some people are not able to, but he blesses your children, you know, they're doing fine, they get married, they're having children, you know, that you know, there's so many ways. Okay, you're traveling up and down, you're happy, you're not sick somewhere, you know, for people praying for you, you know, there's so many. But you know, we have a lot of people have this mindset about, no, okay, I want this promotion, I must get there and all that, and if I don't get there, that's the end of it.
You know, Nigerian parlance, by fire, by force, you know, I must be there, it must be me, and all that.
If we're really God-fearing, you will know that there's so many ways that God blesses one, and in Yoruba, you know, we call it ayoko, contentment. You know, having that contentment is a virtue.
It is.
If you have it, because it's not everybody that has it.
Yes.
Some people, they have this one, whether they still want more, they still want more,
and all of that, and more. And it's sometimes it becomes very selfish, and it's got to be me and me and us alone. Yes. Well, you've just taken a little bit of my very last question, which is, as we wrap up the show, words of wisdom from you to share with our women folk and our viewers in general, actually.
What do I want to share? I want to say that, you know, as my mother said, one of the things that my mother used to say was that, look, you just be good to people and leave the rest to God. So what I want to tell people is that in anything you do, have the fear of God in your mind. Do it. Make sure that there's justice, there's equity. You know, make sure you're honest. You know, in delivering all of those things, and be hardworking. Be dedicated to your work, because all those things are not things that you can hide. People see them, and you will be rewarded. You know, when the time comes, there's no way that, you know, you have been hardworking, you have been dedicated, you have been committed, you know, to what you are assigned to do. You will get the results, and you know, you'll be used here and there. Oh, this person is good, that's the person I want to work with. This person is good, you know, and that's how, you know, gradually you climb up. There is no, I don't think there's any magic to it or shortcut. Well, maybe there are some people. Well, some people don't believe that. You know, some people don't believe it's that. It's unfortunate that
you know, hard work does pay.
It pays, I tell you.
Don't wait to be compensated for everything, for doing your job. And yes, when you are dedicated, committed, you know, the loyal, yes, the reward
to your organization, and you're honest.
You know, the reward
that's a lot of integrity. You know, that's integrity that we're coming to say. If you bring it to bear in all that you do, I think the sky is the limit for anyone.
It's been an awesome time with you, SSG. Thank you so much for honoring our invitation. It's been a blessing having you join us and share your experience.
Thank you very much.
You know, can I adopt you as my role model?
I'm sure you have so many people you can. Please, I'm at your service anytime.
So
my pleasure.
It's been a great pleasure.
Thank you very much
for joining us.
Thank you too. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
This week's Sisieko continues to take the movie industry by the storm while making money with her poorly constructed grammar as Jennifer.
Akindele Bello Olufunke Ayotunde, popularly known as Funke Akindele Jennifer, is a Nigerian actress and producer. Funke starred in the sitcom I Need to Know from 1998 to 2002. And in 2009, she won the African Movie Academy Award for Best Actress in a Leading Role. She plays the lead character in the show, Jennifer's Diary, for which she was named Best Actress in a Comedy at the 2016 African Magic Viewers' Choice Awards. Akindele came into the limelight after starring in popular United Nations Population Fund sponsored sitcom I Need to Know, which ran from 1998 to 2002. Funke played Bisi, a curious but highly intelligent secondary school student. Funke Akindele's big break came in 2008 when she appeared in the movie Jennifer. She made her directorial debut in 2019 political drama film Your Excellency.
This item of clothing surely complements a woman's dressing. Check out trends. Many thanks for being part of the show. Join us same time next week for another inspiring edition. I am Shiju Alabi.